Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village and the father of the protagonist Naruto. He is a shinobi who has been spoken of as a hero who protected the leaf from the beginning of the story. Feared as the yellow flash of the leaf due to his overwhelming strength on the battlefield, enemy shinobi were terrified and would flee at the mere sight of him. For the Leaf Village, he is a legendary hero, but for other countries, he might have been a terrifying Grim Reaper you wouldn't want to encounter. The greatness of Minato is not just in his combat ability, but also it lies in the fact that he is too perfect in every aspect. It's as if he embodies an ideal character, and by the start of the story, he has already become a legend. Even after the opening, he appears in important themes, receiving exceptional treatment by stealing the spotlight. That is why, in the first worldwide character popularity poll conducted in 2023, he splendidly secured the first place, surpassing the protagonist and numerous other captivating characters. This time, I would like to delve into Minato's perfection as a superhuman. Minato became the Hokage, the leader of the village, in his early 20s. No one complained about Minato because his character and abilities were rated exceptionally high. Despite having powerful candidates like Orochimaru, the third Hokage's beloved disciple with impeccable skills, Danzo, who was like a childhood friend to the third Hokage and self-proclaimed next Hokage, and Hiashi Hyuga, the head of the strongest Hyuga clan in Konoha, the young genius Minato was chosen not only for his strength but also because his character and popularity were exceptional. Minato was also an extremely excellent teacher, with students like Kakashi and Obito. He earned immense trust from Rin, Kakashi's absolute adherence to rules. He understood Kakashi's strict adherence to rules, Obito's emotionally driven actions, and Rin's delicate position, and provided the best guidance to each of them. People who are called geniuses often tend to look down on those who are not as capable, but Minato has none of that. Rather, he has the depth of character to warmly watch over those who are struggling or making an effort. And most importantly for a ninja is the trust from comrades. On the battlefield, Yellow, while instilling fear in the enemy as a yellow flash, in the village, he is known as the gentle Minato-sensei, giving hope to the children. Because of this dual nature, as a war hero, he was also able to gain trust as a leader of peace. To describe Minato's strength in one word, it is overwhelming speed. In Naruto, the strong characters are generally ninjas who overwhelm their enemies with large-scale techniques or special Tekkenkai, but Minato is truly a character that can be called a ninja, dominating everything with otherworldly speed. What makes this possible is the Flying Thunder God technique. The second Hokage, Tobirama Senju, developed the warp ninjutsu, and Minato further refined it, elevating it to the pinnacle of space-time ninjutsu. That speed is far beyond the pure physical power, and even a muscular man confident in his speed like Eri was easily outmaneuvered. Furthermore, at this time, by mocking Kilatura, he subdued the Kumogakure squad in an instant, as expected of the man who received approval from Lord Hidetsu. Originally, the Flying Thunder God technique is an extremely difficult jutsu that requires 3 special jonin to barely warp 1%. Take it for granted, Minato, who repeatedly uses it like that, is an otherworldly presence. Recently, it seems that Boruto also uses the Flying Thunder God technique, but his version is considerably inferior compared to Minato and Tobirama. This clearly shows Minato's otherworldly nature. Minato's specialty tactic involves scattering custom kunai inscribed with techniques across the battlefield, allowing him to move freely and swiftly dominate the battlefield. Many enemies who saw these kunai thought they were oddly shaped. He should have exited immediately after that, because in the next moment, Minato is standing behind them. There's an expression too fast to see, but in Minato's case, it is, when it became visible, is over, and it's a level of speed like that. Just as the yellow flash seemed to appear for an instant, but the unrealistic scene of surrounding comrades being annihilated was probably commonplace on the battlefield at that time. In fact, the achievements in the Third Shinobi World War were legendary, and that he was annihilating the Iwagakure shinobi one after another. Shortly towards the end of the war, in Iwagakure, when they saw him, they were told to just run, but many shinobi ended up being too slow to escape. When you see him, just pretend to be dead. That must have become the basic tactic. Also, the shinobi are often thought to be weak ninjas because they were quickly taken down at the port or defeated by Sharingan Kakashi, but in reality, they seem to be quite skilled. It feels like they are the elite ninja of the Kakashi generation in Konoha. When I think about it, the village's powerful figures were being taken out one after another. It seems that Iragakure's military strength had significantly declined. In other words, it was inevitable that Otoki was using the Akatsuki. In the battle with the Masked Man during the Nine Tails experiment, they completely devised a countermeasure against the never-before-seen technique of phasing through the body after a few encounters, demonstrated combat intuition. A normal ninja would panic when their attacks have no effect, but Minato has the analytical ability to calmly assess the situation and find a countermeasure, and the high level of combat ability to actually execute it. At this time, Shinji Hirai's scene was just too cool. I'm sure readers with Chunibyo all over the country imitated it a lot. Like this, Minato honed his absolute weapon, speed, to the utmost limit and centered it in perfect, there constructing a tactical formation. And in the Fourth Shinobi World War, he was resurrected along with the other Hokage through Edo Tensei, displaying extraordinary strength. He had mastered the Nine Tails mode, which he had not learned during his lifetime. Although the Edo Tensei should basically have the power from when they were alive, Minato was clearly stronger than he was in life. In other words, even though what was sealed with the Reaper Death Seal should eternally hate and continue fighting, the mystery is that he became friends with the Nine Tails. Even the Nine Tails, as expected, might become nothing more than a cute pet in front of this genius, wouldn't it? And towards the end of the war, he dealt critical blows to 5 people with his teleportation kunai slash, supported Naruto and others by flying around with Tobirama using the lightning rod, unleashed the parent-child Rasengan in Biju Kurama mode, supported the 8 Gates formation in the battle against Madara's final form, gave precise instructions to Kakashi and Gaara, and showed remarkable efforts in cornering Madara. Among them, he simultaneously warped the entire Shinobi Alliance. It was the feat that only Minato could accomplish, saving the lives of all the shinobi. Minato not only uses existing techniques like the Flying Thunder God, but also has the unique talent to develop new techniques from scratch. The Rasengan that Minato independently created pushes form transformation to the limit, an A-rank ninjutsu refined to the extreme. It is a technique developed over years with the tailed beast ball as a reference, and its power is quite formidable in this story. In fact, even Kabuto's brother, who was confident in his recovery abilities, was rendered unable to fight with a single blow. This technique was later passed on to Naruto, resulting in him becoming a man obsessed with repeatedly using the Rasengan. And the main feature of this Rasengan is that it doesn't require hand signs. As long as one hand is free, it can be activated at any time, and there's no risk of the technique being exposed to others. Moreover, seeing Minato's battle with Obito, he can likely activate the Rasengan in about 0.1 seconds, and there's no issue with energy consumption. Additionally, since he has mastered the lightning rod technique, he can warp without a pin. In other words, he can unleash one-hit kill level attacks from behind the opponent without any movement. Instead of using such wide-ranging techniques, he keeps the necessary chakra to a minimum. Even against formidable foes, Minato can deliver a fatal blow in one strike and change the course of battle single-handedly. You can sense the will of fire, which focuses on cost-effectiveness with a skill set completely designed for interpersonal combat. By the way, Tobirama Senju, also known as the cunning developer of the Flying Thunder God techniques, fights in a more efficient manner by simply cutting down opponents with a sword, without even needing to use the Rasengan. In other words, Minato is like a generic version of the infamous one. Also with the lightning rod, as an application of the lightning rod, the instant rotation, it is highly likely that he was also performing this technique during his lifetime. The lightning rod rotation is, the two practitioners mock each other, a cunning ninja technique that involves warping to strike the enemy with a powerful move. During the Fourth Great Ninja War, without any prior coordination, from the fact that Tobirama and Minato were doing it impromptu, the two likely used shadow clones and did it by themselves while they were alive. Moreover, he demonstrated an advanced technique of not only warping himself, but also warping the enemy's attacks. In fact, in the story, the tail beast ball of the Nine Tails was warped. He was saving the Leaf Village from the brink of destruction. By the way, the marking of the lightning rod does not disappear even if the user exits. It seems to remain for a lifetime. Surely, the ninja marked at the port could not rest at all in their private life outside of missions. Perhaps there were many shinobi who ended up in the afterlife with a teleportation Rasengan while they were sleeping. Not only in combat techniques, but Minato also stands out in his knowledge of sealing techniques, showcasing various sealing arts such as the 8 trigram seal, contracts, seals, formulas, and blade sealing in the story. By the way, according to him, he claims to be not good at it, but he seems to be able to use Sage Mode quite well. I think the outstanding aspect of Minato's personality is his rationality, which allows him to calmly make the best choices even in situations that have turned against him. During the Nine Tails attack, he made the ultimate decision to balance the future of the Leaf Village and the safety of his newborn child, exchanging his and his wife's lives to make Naruto a Jinchuriki. At that time, making Naruto a Jinchuriki was also to prepare for the threat of the Masked Man, looking ahead to the future. And during this Nine Tails incident, Minato quickly conducted a calm analysis and executed the optimal solution. First, prioritize repelling the Masked Man, Obito, who is the mastermind controlling the Nine Tails. Next, transfer the rampaging Nine Tails away from the Leaf Village. And then, judging that the complete sealing of the Nine Tails was impossible, he sealed the Yin Chakra within himself using the Shiki Fujin. The Yang Chakra is manifested and sealed within Naruto. At this time, he even managed the feat of incorporating Kushina's and his own chakra into Naruto's seal. Furthermore, he might have been considering not only the balance of the Leaf Village, but also that of all humanity. If I, as the Hokage, were to leave and the Nine Tails were lost from the Leaf Village, the balance of power among the 5 great nations could be disrupted, potentially starting a new ninja world war. Therefore, by making Naruto a Jinchuriki, there might have been an intention to keep the power of the Nine Tails here and maintain the balance of power. The ability to instantly devise such a complex plan in a situation where his wife is on the brink of death is a testament to superhuman thinking and judgment. And the terrifying aspect of this plan is that it even takes his own death into account. If he had survived, Naruto's future would have been secure, but for the sake of Konoha, he trusted Naruto and even sacrificed himself. In other words, he completely eliminated emotions and coldly chose the optimal solution for Konoha. Including everything, weigh it on the scales. He's tough until the ultimate form of a shinobi who calmly chooses the best move. This family is shinobi. From this line, you can feel an unfathomable will of fire along with deep affection for family and the village. However, that might be where the qualities of a Hokage are revealed. One miscalculation for Minato was that the spirit of perseverance among the residents of Konoha was too strong. It is likely they never imagined that the son of the hero who risked his life to save the village would be considered a nuisance by all the residents and endure a miserable childhood. And this sealing mechanism was activated during Pain's battle. During the battle with Pain, Naruto went berserk and was almost consumed by darkness. At this time, Minato appeared gallantly and dispelled Naruto's darkness with overwhelming light. Then afterward, Naruto regained his senses and succeeded in defeating Pain. But as a result, the people of Konoha changed their attitude, and Naruto became a hero recognized by everyone in the village. In just a moment, Minato dispelled Naruto's darkness and conveyed the importance of believing in oneself and trusting others. The path to Naruto becoming Hokage must have always been influenced by Minato's presence. I believe in you. The absolute trust of his father might have been the driving force for Naruto. After Naruto's birth, Minato left immediately, but it can be said that he left various legacies for Naruto in a time-delayed manner. Yeah. We've seen Minato's perfection so far, but his talent is most evident in his lineage. This is because Minato, without the power of lineage, he purely rose to the top with his own strength. In the world of Naruto, lineage is often the source of power. Starting with the Uchiha clan, who possess the almost all-powerful Sharingan, and the monster parade of the Senju clan, the strongest Hyuga clan in Konoha, the prestigious Sarutobi clan, the Uzumaki clan with vast chakra, various clans using special techniques passed down in Konoha, those who inherit more than 2 elemental natures and can use powerful techniques through nature transformation, etc. Most of the strong characters in Naruto are like this. However, Minato comes from a mysterious clan with no specific name and has not inherited any special bloodline limits. Not from a prestigious clan, nor receiving power from great parents, nor secret, a pure self-made genius with no revealed lineage. The Uchiha clan is considered the strongest because of the Sharingan. Completely dismissing other shinobi's excuses, it feels like it was sealed away. In the Naruto world, where lineage supremacy is deeply rooted, in the world of Pirate, he can be called a mutant genius who presented a new value that effort can surpass guns. When you think about it, being considered on par with the legendary Hokage in his early 20s shows that he is a genius who stands out from the rest. As such, possessing top-class abilities in every aspect, a ninja so perfect that no apparent flaws can be found, Minato Namikaze. That said, even such a perfect person has a few flaws. First of all, the naming sense is terrible. Generally, he often gives his techniques names that are full of a middle schooler vibe, and even Lord Haruchi finds them hilarious. Moreover, despite being the fastest ninja in history, he has the critical flaw of being slow at crucial moments. Moreover, during the cucumber incident, despite Obito giving hints by even removing his hood, he was so oblivious that he didn't notice anything about his student. As a result, Obito fell into darkness, and later the ninja world became a mess. It ended up in a mess. That said, without such flaws, he would be too perfect and lack any human touch. Furthermore, if he had made it in time at the crucial moment, the story of Naruto would not have begun. If everything had been done perfectly, Obito wouldn't have fallen into darkness, Kushina wouldn't have exited, and Naruto would be the strongest. He would have led a smooth-sailing shinobi life as a thoroughbred. Therefore, it can be said that this flaw is also one of the reasons for Minato's charm. In other words, Minato essentially has no flaws. A genius who blossomed all kinds of talents in a short life and left a legend in the ninja world. Minato Namikaze. If he had continued to train without leaving the stage there, he might have become the strongest firewind on Earth.